Yeah.
Yeah. Hi, Mrunal. How are you?
Yes, I'm good. Thank you for asking.
Yeah. So, Mrunal, can you tell us something about yourself?
Yes, my name is Mrunal Ghan. I have a 3+ years of experience in manual as well as in automation testing
Hmm.
in one of the Pune-based company. I have worked in automation testing with Selenium and Java,
Hmm.
where we used a hybrid-driven framework, which is the combination of keyword-driven and modular-driven framework.
Hmm.
In in our organizations, we use agile methodology,
Hmm.
and for unit testing, we use the TestNG.
Hmm.
And we have like my day-to-day responsibilities includes writing the test cases, executing the test cases, code reviews, attending the day-to-day task. Yeah,
Hmm.
that's it.
Okay. So, can you tell me about estimation technique? How do you estimate that? How much time do you need to automate this particular screen or this particular test case?
It will depend upon the complexity, like whether it will take, whether it is simple or complex. If it is
Hmm.
a complex, then it will take 1 or 2 days. But if it is simple, then I give the estimation of 1 day.
Okay. But which are the different aspects that you will consider at the time of giving estimation?
Mm. Like
Hmm. Which are the different pointers, I would say, which are the different key areas that you would consider at the time of giving estimation for an automation script?
how many pages I have to automate. I will
Mm-hmm.
check the pages. Uh, then yeah.
Okay. See, when you get this question in an interview,
Mm.
you can explain in this manner. Yeah, is my screen visible to you?
Yes, yes, yes. It's visible.
Okay. Okay. See, I will give estimation. So first estimation you can give with respect to complexity,
Exactly.
right? You have low complexity user story, you have medium complexity, you have high complexity user story. This user story will have their own story points in the form of Fibonacci series, right? So based on that also you can get an idea, okay, this user story is this much amount of complexity is there in that user story. Okay, that is one of the level. Second thing is the different steps while doing automation. So first of all, you will check if the test cases are written or not.
Written or not exactly.
Directly, you cannot automate from the acceptance criteria written in the user story. Okay, so test cases are written or not, functionality is stable, and the build is available, and all the test cases are passing. Right, all the test cases are passing, then and then only you will start the automation. Or even if 80 to 85% test cases are passing, that means it's the functionality is stable, then you can start the automation. And third
Mm.
thing is you'll check if the pages are created, the locators are created for that. If they are created already, you can reuse them. But if those are not created, then you will have to give a separate estimation for that. So include that as one of the subtasks in your automation. If you're using BDD, then are the keywords available with you, right? Is the feature file created with you or not, right? So those kind of things you will take care. Then once you will start the automation, you'll check if you you'll design the code first, right? Then you'll do the development and then unit testing it, right? So you have to give the estimation on these particular aspects. All these aspects you have to think, and accordingly you have to give the estimation. Now these are few of the things. Apart from this, from the testing purpose, what you'll check is you'll check whether your code is running in all the browsers, okay, whichever the browsers those are supporting, and you'll also check with the CI/CD integration. So there will be a separate team for CI/CD, but you will have to check in your code, you'll have to push your code, and you'll have to verify whether it is running with respect to properly with respect to CI/CD tools or not, right? So
Mm.
that's how on all these aspects you will consider your timeline, and accordingly you will give the estimation. Clear?
Okay. Yeah.
Right? So that's how you can give the answer. Fine. Okay. How can you configure your test framework to rerun failed test cases only?
Sorry, I didn't get you.
Yeah. So how will you make some configuration or make some changes in your framework in order to ensure that you rerun the failed test cases only?
Um, for that, I used separate XML file
Mm-hmm.
to rerun those test cases. And if test cases is failed, we take the screenshot of the failure test cases,
Mm-hmm.
and we also check the logs. Logs are like created to check, if any we run many test cases, some are passed whereas some are failed. Like those cases are failed, we check the log file, and yeah, we ensure the test cases.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Right. Now, let's say uh, this is one of the scenario that you need to automate. You have got different windows, A,
Mhm.
B, C, and D. How will you switch to C window and close it? So you have different windows, right? But you want to switch to one of the window out of that and you have to close it.
Okay, yeah, for this is like window handles.
Mm-hmm.
For, we have to use the switching commands for window handle, and for window yeah, get window id from a driver instance. Like get window handle will return the id of one single browser, whereas get window handles will return the id of multiple browsers. So we have to capture the all the ids of this window, and after that we have to use to switch command to switch to the particular window. And if I want to switch, but these windows ids are it is string format, and every time we will not get the same window id.
Mm-hmm.
And if we don't know, like this window id is belong to particularly a, this window id belong to particularly b, so for that we can capture the title of this window, and if the title dot equals to particularly c, then
Mm-hmm.
switch, then close to it. I can use this kind of approach.
Okay. Okay. Can you write just the logic part of the code? Is it possible for you to write in a Notepad plus plus or any window if you can share just the logic? You have four windows and you have to switch to the C window and you have to close it.
Okay, yeah, I'll share my screen.
Mm-hmm.
My screen is visible.
Mm-hmm. Uh, yeah, yeah, it's visible.
Can I write the complete code or write just for windows handles?
Just window handles is fine. Just that particular logic.
Okay, just I'm creating
Mm-hmm.
so that it will the error will not occur.
Mm-hmm. No problem, no problem.
Here I have to capture the Windows ID,
Mm-hmm.
and this return type is set of strings.
Correct.
And so we can use like two things. Like we can use for loop to
Mm-hmm.
retrieve the IDs, because in
Correct.
set we don't follow the index concept is not used. Like
Mm.
so either we can convert into this array array list, or we can use for loop to retrieve the IDs. So I will convert this into list collection. Here I have to pass this window ID. Then by using indexing we will get parent window id or child window id, but if there are only 2 3 windows, then we can use index. But if there are 5 windows, then we can
Mm.
use for loop to retrieve the window id.
Correct. Correct. Okay.
Like here I write win id,
Mm-hmm.
and now I here use switch command to switch between the different window id.
Mm-hmm.
We have to use driver dot switch to dot window, and here we have to pass the window id. So from this window id we will get each window id one by one, and we will store this into w variable,
Mm.
and it will go into the for loop and it will switch to the particular window. And if w, let's say, is equal to c, like the you give me the task.
Mm-hmm.
No, we have to capture the text. Sorry, we have to
Window.
capture the
Yeah.
title of the
Title.
window id.
Yes. Yes.
Yes.
Correct.
So string title, get title, and if title is equal to c, let's say, sorry, then we have to driver dot close.
Hmm. Switch to and then close.
Yeah.
Okay. See. Yeah. This is great. Let me show you the solution. Okay. So you have 4 windows. You have window A, you have B, C, D. We'll open all those windows and we'll store the handle of the current parent window first. So that is in the string data type. Then you'll get all the window handles using set string, all windows, and then you'll iterate through the windows. So you'll use a for loop here. Okay. And then you'll check the Windows title or the URL to identify Windows C. Okay, so here, let's say Windows C is yahoo.com, so that we will first identify if we are getting that, and then you'll close it, and then you'll exit that loop, right? So that's how you'll be using. These are the different things that you have used. Get window handles, iterate through windows, you'll use a loop, right? To identify, you'll check the title or the URL, and then you'll close it, right? So after you close, then you have to switch back to the parent window. For that, you have to write driver dot switch to dot window of parent window.
Mm-hmm.
Clear? Fine,
I have
great.
written the correct code now.
Correct, correct. It was correct. Yeah.
Yeah. like when we switch to the like different browser window, then
Mm-hmm.
our driver is focused on that particular window. So again, we have to switch back to
Switch
the
to
main window.
parent window. Yes, yes. Okay. Now tell me, what is the difference between OAuth 1 and OAuth 2?
So
Mm-hmm.
I
So
didn't get it.
you have authentication mechanisms, right? OAuth 1, OAuth 2, your basic authentication, which you'll be using for API automations, rest assured. So what is the difference between OAuth 1 and OAuth 2?
Sorry, sir, I don't know about this.
Okay, okay, no problem, no problem. So let me tell you the difference between the two. Okay, basically these are your protocols only. So,
Mhm.
right. So you have OAuth 1, that is older version of the protocol. OAuth 2 is your newer version. Complexity in that OAuth 1, it was more complex, right? It was using some cryptography mechanism. Here it relies on HTTPS for security. Okay, here you have bearer tokens in OAuth 2. Here it was cryptographic again, right? Token type is, it was using access tokens. These tokens are typically short-lived here and they get refreshed with the refresh tokens. Okay, this is limited flexibility. This is more flexible, right? OAuth 2 is not backward compatible with OAuth 1, right? So that is the backward compatibility thing. Fine. That's one of the thing. Okay. Let's say if you are given something for automation, right? Any use case, any test case, any test scenario. Will you prefer it to automate it using UI or using API? And what would be your approach for that?
First, I will give preference to the API
What is the reason behind that?
because if there is any like any error or any changes there, we will come to know uh, early. We
Hmm.
will get the defects earlier,
So
and
that you
then
can
after,
get from UI as well, right?
yes, but API is created before the UI part.
Mm-hmm. Right. Okay. This is one of the reason. What else?
Mm. So I know only this reason.
Okay. Okay. No problem. See, there are multiple reasons. So one is the faster execution of API compared to UI. Okay. First answer is, do you prefer to automate it using UI or API? So yes, you can prefer it to
Okay.
go for API first,
API.
right? Because execution is faster. The maintenance challenges are less in API because in UI, your locators or your UI UX might change, and then again, you will have to update your scripts. Now, the coverage of edge cases or boundary scenarios, that also you can have more from the API perspective. Okay, now when to use the UI automation? When you have to validate the end-to-end workflows, right? For example, UI is triggering those API calls end-to-end properly or not, then you'll go for the UI automation. Or when you have some API functionality that cannot be validated just with the API. So you have some UI interaction in that. Then you'll go for the UI automation in that case, right? So these things you have to take care. Okay, fine. Now let me share my screen and you have to answer this question. So imagine you are working on an e-commerce website,
Mhm.
and in this e-commerce website, you have got some third-party APIs like payment gateways. Those are also integrated into your automation framework, right? So how would you ensure the test automation, the seamless automation of these third-party APIs? Because those are third-party APIs that sometimes it can be down, sometimes the service is unavailable, right? If something is within the development team approach or within the company itself, within your team itself, then that can be done. But if something is third-party API, that means you have some dependency on outside things. Then how would you automate those things in your framework?
And actually, I have not worked on this, so
Okay,
mm,
no
don't
problem. See, if you
know.
get these kind of questions in an interview, right, you can just give a thought on these kind of things. See, what you can do is you can use the mocking or you can use stubbing, right? You can create some mock-up servers which are using the same APIs, the look and feel, or you can say the server request and the response. You can automate those kind of things, right? The
Mhm.
environment configurations you can do. You can have some separate configurations of keys and endpoints for test staging and for production environments, right? You can validate the status codes, right? Whether
Yeah,
it is coming 200. If it is coming 200, that means
it
it
is
is
okay.
working fine, right? Simple checkpoints you have to keep. You cannot try to cover everything. 100% coverage, even 70,
Mhm.
80% coverage is not possible. So you have to have a basic checkpoints here. This is one of the question related to payment gateways. Similarly, they can also ask you with respect to single sign-on, those kind of things as well, right?
Okay.
Single sign-on where if you sign in to your URL, you would be taken to as a login user to another URL, right?
Mm.
When you have multiple integration websites, those things you can do. You can test some scenarios of related to error handling, like network failures, expired tokens,
Mhm.
those things you can do. Okay, great. How will you handle cookies in automation?
Like by using Chrome
Yes, yes, you are going in the right direction.
Chrome options.
Chrome options,
By
correct,
using Chrome options. Mm-hmm.
correct.
Mm-hmm.
Mm, how many test cases do you automate every day?
It depends upon the complexity. If the test case is simple, then I can automate 5 to 6 test
Mm-hmm.
cases per daily. And if the test case is complex, then I can automate only 1 or 2 cases daily. And those test cases are we can done manually. Only those we can automate.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Right. So it depends on the complexity. A good answer. And
Mm-hmm.
don't tell the number five, six test cases. Tell in the range, 2 to 5
Mm-hmm.
test cases, or
Mm-hmm.
1 to 3 test cases at times. It depends on the range, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. What is your contribution to the automation framework which you are using?
Like in my organization, like the framework is already created by the
Mm-hmm.
senior people,
Mm-hmm.
and my contribution is to the writing the test cases. I have created some page object classes, and also I write the test scripts for automation and executing the test scripts on the daily basis, and some created some utilities class.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Okay. So that is your role and responsibility, right? You will be automating few of the test cases. You will be assigned few of the scenarios, and you have to work, right? What you can do is when you get this question, you can tell about the challenges that you have got in your automation. Maybe there is a lot of maintenance. At time there was some of the functionality which everyone was finding it complex to automate, but you were able to get those locators and automate them. You can tell about the challenges. Some of the challenges are of flaky test. Few of the automation scripts are running fine on Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, but on Saturday and Sunday they just fail, right? Flaky test.
Yeah.
So you'll identify the root cause. You'll identify whether the environment is unstable. You'll identify if there are synchronization issues. You'll implement retry mechanisms, right? So tell about the challenge, about the resolution as well. You'll use smart weights to handle dynamic elements, right? So those kind of things you can tell. Challenges plus solution,
Okay.
right? So this is one of the aspect. Now, tell me about the folder structure in your framework. What is the folder structure?
Like we have created like different packages and different folders. Like
Mm,
folders contains the logs is one of the folder. The screenshot for test data we have a separate folders, and
mm,
for reports there is one also one folder. And packages includes the page objects is one of the
Mm,
package where
mm,
we write all the page classes. Like for login, we created a separate page for
mm,
then for logout, then for search functionality, then add to product.
mm,
Like there are different pages. Like
mm-hmm.
each page of the application, we created the separate class, and we created the utilities package in which we write the common code, like common code, and
So what does this common code contain?
like email, like dynamic email generation, like
Mm-hmm.
if it is a dynamic number. Mm-hmm. That's
That it would contain. Okay.
and test cases is one of the package in which we write the each test cases, like
Mm.
mm,
Great, great. What else? What do you know
mm,
about
test base test base in which we
test
write the
base? Mm,
common code which will require for all the test cases, like to open the browser or to close the browser, like configuration related things we write in the test base. And for every test case will extend this test base class,
mm-hmm.
because it will require for every test case. Like if suppose let's take the example of login page. For login page we have credentials required, like first open the browser, then we have to enter the login credentials. But open the browser is one of the thing that will need for every test cases, so we extend that test based class in
Mm.
every test case.
Correct, correct. So what is that mechanism called?
we
Extending
call it we call it as inheritance.
inheritance. Okay.
We use
How? Yeah, you are
it
using.
is like
Mm-hmm.
we call it as a hierarchical inheritance, because we created only test base as one class, and we are extending those class in every all other test cases.
Perfect.
Yeah.
Great, great. Uh, where have you used constructors in your framework?
Yeah, like we created one page class in which we write one constructor,
Mm-hmm.
and the every other pages we extend that base page. Like in base page
Mm.
we write the constructor code.
In the base
Like
page, you have written the constructor,
hmm.
and then
And
uh,
every other page will extend, like every other page object class
mm,
will extend that class to initialize the WebDriver.
initialize the WebDriver. Okay. How about abstraction? Where have you used abstraction in your framework?
Mm, like we created the web element, like
Mm-hmm.
those web element we keep as a
You can
what
take
to
your
take
time to
on.
think. No hurries.
Mm-hmm.
Um,
I don't remember right now, sir.
okay, okay, no problem. So, which are the interfaces that you have used in your automation testing apart from WebDriver?
Mm, web element
Web
is
element
one
is an
of
interface, correct?
yes, web
Mm-hmm.
element is interface, whereas
Then,
mm, take a screenshot
mm-hmm.
is one
Then
of the interface. Then action is one of the interface. Action.
actions.
Action.
Action, you are telling. Okay.
Mhm. And
Action is actually, are you talking about action or actions?
sir, actions is the class where
Class,
we
right?
used for mouse actions, like for
Mm,
drag and drop,
mm,
mouse over, double click and right click.
mm.
But action, but action is the interface.
Without S, action is an interface. Yes.
Yeah, this is one
Mm,
of the interface like we used.
right. Then,
Mm.
how do you capture screenshots?
Using take a screenshot
Yeah,
method.
that is, yeah. So can you write the code for that?
Mm,
Yeah, can you share your screen? Just in a Notepad++ or Notepad is also fine. If you're comfortable with Eclipse, that is also fine.
yeah.
जायचंय मला कपडे घ्यायचे.
Uh, think- Sir, can you please assist me? I'm not able to recall this. Sir, I'm not able to recall this code.
Uh-huh. Okay, okay, no problem. So let me tell you about that. Fine. So let me share my screen. Mm, hmm. So you have this file equal to take screenshot, right? Driver. And then you have this string screenshot base 64 is equal to take screenshot dot get screenshot as is a method. So output type, what is the output type that you would get? So the code that you are seeing here has got the get screenshot as is actually one of the method, right?
Yeah.
X is the return type of the method here, right? And target, it will hold the destination address, right?
Destination
What is
address. Yeah.
like which address or which location you want to get that file to be saved, right? So
Mm.
depending on the browser being used, take screenshot method can return you the entire page. It can return you the current open window or visible segment of the current frame, whole display containing the browser, all those things it can share it with you. Okay. And this actually, I would like to tell you something about this. How did we come to this question? So we were discussing about interfaces. So takes screenshot is also one of the interface, right? Then JavaScript executor is an interface. I think WebDriver we know. Web element you covered. That was nice. Alert is an
Alert,
interface.
yeah,
Navigation
interface.
is an interface. Options is an interface, right? So these are
Mhm.
all your interfaces.
Mhm.
Okay, fine. So interfaces in Java, and before that we discussed about contribution. Fine. Now, uh, which is the version control tool that you are using?
Git is the version control tool that we are using.
Okay. Can you explain few of the Git commands that you are using?
Yes, like the basic commands like add command, then put is one of the command, push
Hmm.
command, and commit command.
Hmm. So git pull you are using to fetch the changes from a remote repository.
Yeah.
Then git fetch you are using. Git push you are using.
Push.
Okay. What is git cherry pick used for?
Uh, Sorry, sir, I don't know about that.
Okay, no problem. Git cherry pick is used to apply a specific commit from one branch to the another branch, right?
Okay.
That is, you want to have some specific things only. Cherry pick, right?
Mhm.
You want to go for selective things only, right? Without merging an entire branch, you'll go for git cherry pick in that case.
Mhm.
Great. What is the difference between find element and find elements?
Yeah, find element
Mm,
will return the one single web element, whereas
mhm.
find elements will return the multiple element, like list of web element. Here we use the collection of list.
Great.
Yeah.
Okay.
And if the element is not found in
Mm,
case of find element, we will get no such element exception.
okay.
And if the element is not found in case of find elements, it will return simply zero or null.
Correct. Correct. Okay. When will you get stale element reference exception?
Um,
Stale element reference exception when the element is no longer present in the DOM. Okay, tell
DOM,
me which are the
okay.
different exceptions that you have got in Selenium?
First of all, like no such element exception,
Great.
then no alert is present
Mm,
exception,
mm,
no such a framer exception, then um, then is illegal argument exception. When
mhm,
we write negative, like when we pass the negative argument in thread dot slip, then we
mm.
will get illegal state argument
Correct.
exception. Mm, yeah, then one of the is JavaScript due to
Mm,
some
mhm.
not able to recall.
Okay, fine, fine. Okay, Mrunal, I am done with the interview. Do you have any questions for me?
No.
Okay,